today's episode of Nothing Fancy, we're going to be fixing red wine ginger chicken. I can't wait till y'all get into this episode. And please remember, if you like the content, please subscribe. We got to pay the bills. Like, comment, and share, and press those notifications to on so you always get exclusive updates when we drop content. But without further ado, let's get into this vibe because it's definitely about to be a vibe. So once again, guys, we're going to start off with our prep. We're going to get these tomatoes cut down. These are going to be the basis of our sauce. We're going to go ahead and cut the core out of these tomatoes like so and get all of that excess seed and flesh just washed out. And once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and give these a nice julienne cut, and pretty much they're going to be cooked down and reduced in size. These are going to be the basis of our sauce. We're also going to be using 1 full onion, and we're just going to give this a rough chop as well. And we're also going to be using about 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary. I love fresh herbs. I really love them more so than the dry herbs. I think it just gives an overall better flavor. So we're going to go ahead and give these a rough chop, and then we're going to set it aside until we're ready to make our sauce. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our skinless, boneless thigh meat seasoned up. So we're going to use about 1.5 teaspoons of kosher sea salt. We're also going to be using about 1 tablespoon of ginger powder. Now, I love ginger powder. Fresh ginger will work with this as well. If you just take some fresh ginger, put it in the food processor, grind it up, it works just the same. I'm just using the powder this time. And I'm also going to be using 1 tablespoon of fresh black pepper. And you just pretty much want to make sure you get it fully coated on all sides of the chicken. And usually I would use some olive oil to coat this with, but I didn't this time. So I'm also going to be using 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And also I'm going to be using some fresh herbs that we cut up earlier, those rosemary. So about like 1/2 cup of rosemary, pretty much. And you just want to pat this down, make sure it's fully incorporated in the chicken, and then we're going to go ahead and flip these over and pretty much repeat the process. Make sure you get both sides fully coated and mix together well. Now, like I've told you guys in previous videos, anytime you're searing anything, you want to make sure you get the majority of the moisture out of whatever you're trying to sear, and that gets you the golden brown color that you're looking for. So once you've had your pan and oil preheated for about 3 minutes, I actually using extra virgin olive oil here. You just want to go ahead and place your chicken into the pan. Now, if you have an iron griddle press, just to press down your chicken to make sure it cooks evenly, that works. But I also don't have that. So I just use a heavy pan just to press down on the chicken. And this is the color and texture that you're looking for. A nice golden brown sear on your chicken. Now, this has been cooking for about 3 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and get these flipped on over and cook them for another 3 minutes. And we're going to place our pot back on top of these so that they continue to cook evenly, and then we'll set them aside on a rack until we're ready for them. And as you can see, this is what you guys should be aiming for your finished product on your chicken: a nice golden brown and juicy, crunchy texture. So we're just going to let these marinate until we're ready for them. Now, once you finish cooking your chicken, you want to reuse the same pan because it has a lot of the flavor in the sediment at the bottom. And since we're partially vegan around here, I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of vegan butter. And I just want to get that swirled around and incorporated till it melts down into the sediment. And I'm also going to be using mushroom medley. This is definitely a dope product. I suggest you guys try it out. You can probably find it at your local Whole Foods or organic market. It's just pretty much a different wide variety of mushrooms. So we're going to let these cook down, and then we're also going to be adding the vegetables that we prepped early on in the video, our onions and mushrooms. You want to cook these for about 2 to 3 minutes. You just want to get a nice caramelization on them till the onions come somewhat translucent, and we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of kosher sea salt, and this is going to help break down the vegetables to further along the process. And we're going to be also using a teaspoon of black pepper in this as well. You just want to go ahead and get these mixed up until the seasoning is fully incorporated into the vegetables. Now I've just found these oyster mushrooms in the fridge, so I'm going to go ahead and add these as well. If you guys haven't seen some of my other segments, you guys don't know that I usually use these for my vegan fried chicken because it has like a meaty texture to it. It's just all around a great product. So I'm just going to add these for a little bit of added flavor. Now, as you guys can see that the vegetables have started to reduce in size and they're starting to take on that caramelized look that we're looking for. They're not quite done yet. We're going to cook these for another about 2 minutes, but we're going to go ahead and add our red wine to this. Now usually I would use like a nice sherry wine, but I'm going to go ahead and use this organic wine because I love this wine. It's very good. I'm going to go ahead and take me a little swig of this, because the chef got to have a taste. But we're going to go ahead and just mix in the wine with the vegetables, make sure they're fully coated, and we're just going to cook this, like I said, for another 2 minutes until the wine fully reduces, and then we'll start the next part of the process. Now, after 2 minutes is up, you guys can see that the wine has fully reduced and the vegetables have fully caramelized. So at this point, we're going to start building our sauce. So we're going to add in our half of cup of oat cream. This is non-dairy because, we do not do dairy over here. But you want to remember to be cooking at a medium-high heat because just like dairy, the cream will separate on you and mess up your sauce. So you want to keep that in mind. We're also going to be using a half of cup of unsweetened almond milk, and this is just pretty much to stretch out the cream. Now you want to go ahead and get that mixed in. Make sure you scrape all of that sediment at the bottom of the pan so that flavor can incorporate it into the sauce. And we're also going to be using a tablespoon of ginger powder. Now this is pretty much the main flavoring component of this dish, the ginger, which is definitely good. I love it. And we're also going to be using a tablespoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of that freshly chopped rosemary that we had. And we just want to make sure that we get this fully incorporated into the sauce and mixed well. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our chicken. Now at this stage of the dish, it's pretty much done. You just want to let this simmer for about another minute, minute and a half, just so that the chicken soaks up some of the flavor of that sauce. And then we'll be ready to serve it. I'm also going to go ahead and add in some, dropped something. Go ahead and add in some parsley. And the parsley is not so much for flavor, but just for some presentation. You got to have some green in it. And I'm also going to be adding some umami blends. Now, this is definitely a dope product. I suggest you guys try it. Definitely has a nice taste. So it just pretty much heightens the flavor to anything that you add it on. So definitely a dope find if you guys can find it. Now at this point, guys, we're done. I just went on and added some fresh basil to the top of this. Oh my God, only if you could smell this. It smells so good. I'm ready to eat right now. But as usual, guys, I hope you liked the content. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on those notifications. Now we're going to go ahead and dig into this and see what it's hitting on. All right, so let's see what we're hitting on here. Put everything on the fork. I'm definitely getting a hint of that ginger, garlic, and that ginger. It's definitely setting it off, and you're getting a little taste of that umami flavor of the mushrooms and the onions, tomatoes. It's bomb. I did the damn thing as usual. But if y'all like this content, make sure y'all go subscribe. I'm definitely gonna be hitting y'all in the head on a daily basis with this stuff. Till next time, cheers.